This is End Screen Noise. My name is Colin Dixon, founder and chief analyst at End Screen Media, and today is August 10th, 2018. Things became a little bit clearer about Disney's content strategy and its strategy for reaching consumers going forward this week. In the Q3 earnings call, Bob Iger really talked a lot about why the company is delivering apps into the OTT market and direct to consumer. Here's what he had to say.
We don't really want to go to market with an aggregation play that replicates the multi-channel environment that exists today, because we feel consumers are more interested in essentially making decisions on their own in terms of what kind of packages that they want.
So what Mr. Iger is talking about here is he thinks consumers are moving away from the big bundle and that they want to create their own bundles, and therefore the way to reach them is with apps that target different likes, different interests, and that's what Disney is doing. Okay, so what does that mean about the three services that the company has articulated that it will deliver in the market going forward? Well, the first service, ESPN Plus, has already launched. It is part of ESPN's overall app and can be subscribed to for $5 a month. Now, what do you find inside of ESPN Plus when you subscribe? Well, you find a lot of minor sports, things like UFC and Little League and some athletics and a bunch of other stuff. But you also find some major sports like Major League Soccer, some games there, and some Major League Baseball games as well are also available in ESPN Plus. And he plans on beefing that up a lot. He's going to deliver a lot more UFC, 200 college football games in the coming season, as well as Serie A soccer. Now, Serie A soccer is from Italy. It's the Italian Soccer League. And the reason that's important is because Juventus just acquired the rights to Ronaldo, who's allegedly the best footballer in the world, and from his performance in the World Cup, well, you'd certainly have to believe that. So Bob Iger sees ESPN Plus as being your sports hub online, so you can bet he's going to invest a lot more in it going forward. His second service is Hulu. Hulu comes to Disney's control in part of its acquisition of the Fox assets, but there is a problem incumbent in that. The other major investor, the last other major investor, is Comcast NBCU. And there really is no reason for Comcast to really want to cooperate inside of Hulu anymore. And the reason is this. Hulu includes Hulu Live, which is a virtual MVPD. That's one of these digital providers of services very similar to traditional MVPDs like Comcast's X1. Now, Bob Iger is very enthusiastic about virtual MVPDs. Here's what he had to say in the call.
Although the erosion of the expanded basic bundle continues, the impressive growth of these DMVPDs has steadily slowed overall sub-losses.
Now, his problem, Mr. Iger's problem, is how is he going to keep Comcast and NBC content in that service? It's very important. It's a big selling factor that consumers can come there and find most of the most popular live TV shows right there in the app. But it'll be tough keeping Comcast and NBCU happy. But it's important that he does, and that's because virtual MVPDs are an important part of a consumer's transition from the old TV world into the new app world, which is where Disney sees them being. Consumers still like to watch live TV, and virtual MVPDs let them do it online. So that's why it's important that he keeps Hulu vibrant, and it'll be tough to do that given Comcast's dubious interest in Hulu going forward. His third app hasn't launched yet, and that is the new family app that they're directing at consumers in late 2019. And this has been variously called Disney Flix, Disney Play. It is unnamed yet, but what Mr. Iger says is that it will be priced below Netflix. And the reason he says it will be priced below Netflix is because the content flow into that app will be much less than Netflix, at least initially. They're going to build it going forward. So that makes it worth less. Now, he does think that it is still going to be very successful. And here's what he said on the call to justify his assertion.
We have always believed we have the brands and content to be extremely competitive and to thrive alongside Netflix, Amazon, and anyone else in the market.
And who can argue with the success of Disney's service going forward? It has brands like Marvel, of course, Disney, Pixar, and Star Wars in there. A lot of people are going to consider signing up for this, particularly if it's below $8. So I think he's probably going to be pretty successful. There are some problems. Some of the content consumers would expect there are still licensed elsewhere, and he won't get it back in time for 2019. But that said, every movie that is made by Disney in 2019, he says, will end up in that new service. So that's his strategy going forward. It's all about apps and it's all about targeting consumers. And you can bet that Disney's going to come up with a whole bunch of more apps to target consumers going forward. And if and when they do, we'll be talking about it here on End Screen Noise. We'll see you again next time.